you said, up to the time. You know it's Vibes Cartel. T-Pain. You know the song.
The music industry and certain parts of the media, well, a lot of the music media really are quite guilty of trying to put music scenes into little boxes, into shoe boxes, so that they have kind of more of a handle on it, and it makes it easier to represent when they're writing about it. But I think that in terms of rap music, it's very easy for particularly kind of right-wing US kind of politicians to blame rap and hip-hop on the ailments of society. There is a sort of content involved in hip-hop, I think, that can be quite ugly and quite sort of overtly bling. But I think that a lot of that comes down to the fact that ultimately hip-hop was based on the similar sort of the civil rights situation, in the sense of, you know, black people breaking out of the restrictions that they had before and becoming successful. So there's nothing wrong with that. But it's exactly the same problem that you have with video games. Say something like Grand Theft Auto, which is then blamed on people, you know, going out and committing mass murder. There's always going to be, I think, a small section of society that reacts adversely to music such as that, and video games as well. And then, as a consequence, you can find that genre being, you know, I mean, the idea that people like David Cameron and some American politicians have suggested that this sort of music should be banned or something because of its influence on society is absolutely absurd, because this is an art form, and you just can't legislate for it. I think some of the coverage is just, you know, absurd, really. A lot of this is founded on the fact that, I think the fact that there's so much free music available to people, you know, really can't be a bad thing. But a lot of my viewpoints are founded on the fact that I like to see big labels who have made so much money for so many years and show so little kind of ambition with the music that they've got, that I think that they kind of brought it upon themselves, really. And as I said earlier on, the fact that it gives the opportunity for you to hear an album without buying it, and to, you know, for one of your mates to hear it, and then maybe you will buy it. I mean, the problem that they've got now is that with the internet and its, you know, enormous power, that they just can't control it anymore. So they have to accept that and try and work out ways that they will be able to make money out of it, because the whole infrastructure has just shifted entirely.
Make it clap. We make it clap.
I think that I don't think that certainly in guitar music, I don't think that musicians have the same desire to sort of shock. I mean, it's not really true, because there are still some people out there. But, you know, one of my favourite bands is the Velvet Underground, and in the mid '60s they were managed by Andy Warhol, the, you know, famous pop artist. And at their shows they would, you know, sing openly about taking heroin. They would, you know, simulate it on stage. They would have sadomasochistic kind of rituals going on, and all of this would be kind of shot through with Andy Warhol's, you know, confrontational art. Now, I don't really see anyone making music like that, and I think that if they did, the Daily Mail would would immediately be putting it in the paper and you know, being appalled by it. In terms of swearing.
Hip-hop music, rap?
Yeah. Hip-hop's got quite, you know, it's got a kind of a bad reputation, but I just think that to a degree it just represents what most of us are like, really, and that really has to be encouraged, I think. Sometimes hip-hop does really cross the line, though. I think Lupe Fiasco strikes me as being quite an odd man. In terms of as a rapper, I mean, he's, like many of these musicians, he's kind of announced he's going to retire soon, hasn't he? But I mean, that first single off the last album, Superstar, was it?
Yeah.
You know, was a really kind of profound indictment on the way that the industry was. And generally, rappers like 50 Cent don't complain about their lot or appear really hollow and you know, disenfranchised by the whole experience. I think that he's probably doing it naturally. I really like Jay-Z. I think that the 50 Cent, I find him just disgusting, really. You know, it wouldn't be so bad, but his music is really boring and he can't rap. But to then align that with such kind of outrageous, kind of greed and overblown. I just think it's a really bad combination. I think that hip hop needs to kind of be a little bit more ambitious, both musically and in its content, if it wants to kind of remain as vital as it once was. And I think that Lupe Fiasco is just being himself, really.
So how about like Lil Wayne's bringing out like a whole rock album? Have you heard of this?
I heard about it, yeah.
Yeah. So would you say that's simply like he's trying to break down barriers, or is that kind of just another money thing?
Well, I don't know. I mean, Jay-Z did some work with Linkin Park, didn't he? I just didn't think that worked at all. I mean, I didn't really listen to it, but I don't like Linkin Park. I think that if he can pull it off, then great. But I doubt that he can. I mean, he reckons he's the best rapper alive. I didn't really think very much of that last album. I'd have to listen to it, really. But there's probably some element of him maybe thinking that he could appeal to a different area of society and maybe sell more albums.
Yeah, there's a rat in the building.
Sexified. I can know it's commercially, it seems to be really attractive. People do seem to want to buy music if it has the connotations of really kind of lewd sex. I don't think it makes a very good music though. But as a commercial proposition, you can sell a lot of records with really kind of gratuitous. It's not something that I really listen to.
Thank you.
Cheers, thanks.
Oh, that's a sweet 70,